Game time! Welcome to another episode of Game Time. I'm JP Murrieta, and this week our guest is from the Four Corners, Bloomfield to be specific, and the Bloomfield girls basketball team, the Lady Cats, and of course head coach Brady Rivers. Thanks for joining us this week.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you having us.
What kind of season has this been for Bloomfield?
So far, we've had a pretty decent season. I mean, we're doing real well. Right now, I think we're 11-2. I mean, we got off to a really good start at 9-0, and then we hit a bump in the road, or a couple bumps in the road. But then over the last two games, we've been able to pick it back up, at least on the winning side anyway. So. You're
in Albuquerque for the annual Hope Invitational, playing well. What do you like most about this event, kind of as it leads into district play?
Well, I mean, first of all, we're able to get away from home. And sometimes some teams actually play a whole lot better when they're not at home. So the girls aren't feeling the pressure of, necessarily having some of their fellow students there or parents or whatever it may be. It's an opportunity for us to get away, to hang out with one another, to bond as a team. And hopefully it gets us to a point where we're able to then run right into district play.
The girls kind of laughed when you said getting away from home. Do they like being away from home? Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. A unanimous yes. Well, you had mentioned you were off to a strong start this year. You won your first 9 games of the season. What did that do for the confidence of this team as you kind of progressed this year?
Well, I mean, I felt like those first 9 games, it allowed the girls to be able to feel like, hey, we're actually a lot better than we probably thought we were. And so we do understand there's some things we still need to work on, but I'm not sure exactly where their minds were when it came to what their expectations were when it came to our record for the first 9 games. But I felt like after looking back at those first 9 games, they started to feel like, hey, we're actually a little better than we thought we were. So.
I want to ask you about your pregame warm-up routine. Every team has a pregame routine, but it seems like yours is very specific, very detailed. What goes into your pregame warm-ups?
Well, first of all, I want to say I don't create the pregame. My assistant coach, Brian Bernali, he actually creates that, and he's done a really good job. He's been with me for like the last 5 years, and so he's done a really good job over the years of actually paying attention to pregame and seeing what are some of the things that we need to do. Is it one of those things where we need to work on a little bit more fundamentals? Is it one of those things we need to work on more layups or free throws or whatever it may be? And he's done a really good job of kind of putting that together.
One of your leading scorers, Aaliyah Quintana, is averaging over 15 points a game. What kind of player is she, and who else is helping carry the load on this squad?
Well, Aaliyah is one of those players who are very coachable. She has come in, she's actually picked up the things that we want her to pick up. She plays out of position, by the way. She's more of a natural 4, but she's playing a 5 this year because we don't have a 5. So she's doing what she needs to do there. She's a really good teammate. She gets along well with those that are on the team. She's one of our captains, and she really leads us in not just on the court, but also leads us in other things as well. Some of the other players, we got Danielle Johnson, who's come in this season, and then coming in and being part of a new coaching staff that just came in last year. It took the girls a while, along with Danielle, to kind of get used to what we expect. But she's coming in, she's done a really good job, not just last year, but an outstanding job this year as well. We got some guards that's come in and really helped us out. We weren't sure where we were going as a point guard. Licia transferred in from Arizona, and she's come in and helped us out. Delana plays way out of position. She's definitely more of a 2 guard, but she sometimes plays more like a 4, and we have to kind of move her around to allow us to have some success.
Sounds like you got a versatile squad with this group.
Yeah, a whole lot. And we have a lot of girls who come in and they play sometimes out of position, but we're trying to get them to kind of get used to, giving up what they're used to and actually kind of sacrificing for the team.
You're in a district with Gallup and Kirtland Central, 2 teams that have really been strong over the last couple of years. How much of a challenge is that, being in the same district with them?
Well, you got, over the last 3 there that a lot of the 4A teams and even some 5A teams are watching and trying to meet that standard. So we understand that we have to be at that standard and even better to beat them, and it allows us to also work on our game as well. So when we're able to play them, we're able to play at that standard or even higher.
Give people an idea of how competitive basketball is, girls basketball specifically, in the Four Corners. Kirtland, Gallup, yourselves, Shiprock has a rich tradition. Navajo Prep, Farmington, Piedra Vista recently in the last couple of years. How much of a challenge and how good is basketball up in the Four Corners?
They do. They love basketball, especially on the female side. The guys do too. I mean, unfortunately, they don't necessarily compete as well throughout the state. But when you look at the girls' side, as you brought up, you look at Navajo Prep and their state championship runs. You look at Kirtland and the state championship runs and where they have been not just in the state, but when you rank them nationally, Gallup and the way they've done things. As you said, Shiprock has rich tradition, even though they've kind of fallen off, but they still have that tradition. And PV, they've really had a run for a while there, and so Farmington this year, last year has really taken off, if not even before that. So it's a lot of fun to be within that atmosphere because if you go throughout the state, some girls' games don't quite get the crowds, but when you play up there, you're going to get some crowds.
Speaking of crowds at the state tournament, the last time Bloomfield played in a state final was 2018. Handicap this team's chances of maybe reaching that mark again or making a deep run in the postseason.
Well, I was actually in that crowd for Bloomfield because I had promised the coach at that time that if you guys make it to the state championship, my wife and I will be on the Bloomfield side cheering for you. So I was actually a part of that, even though they weren't able to pull it off. But this team right here, we actually have a chance to really make a run as we start to build more confidence, as we start to get a little bit more conditioning in because we have a small team when it comes to numbers. Then I feel like we will then be able to get out there and then make a run and even surprise a few people because I know they looked at some of our records and some of the things we're doing and think, is Bloomfield really that good? And I feel like if the girls continue to buy in, that we will have that opportunity to make that run.
Well, it seems like a confident, fun bunch to me. So good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
We'll be back with more Game Time after this. Are you living the life of an athlete? The New Mexico Activities Association brings you Life of an Athlete, a resource for students, educators, and parents to understand the challenges students face. Athletes, one night of drinking will negatively affect your athletic performance for 2 weeks, and athletes who drink or do drugs are twice as likely to get injured. Alcohol's effects can reduce a high school athlete's potential by as much as 20 to 30%. Are you living the life of an athlete? Log on to the website to find out today.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Hi, my name is Danielle Johnson from Bloomfield High School, and welcome back to Game Time.
Welcome back to Game Time, presented this week by the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Fe Del Norte. Starting any season with a new head coach can sometimes be challenging, but the Santa Fe Demons boys basketball team has adjusted well with their new head coach this season. I'm joined by Santa Fe boys basketball coach Francisco Rivera. Coach, how has year one in charge of the program been going?
I've been blessed with great kids, so they're making it a lot easier. They make me look better than what I really am. Great coaching staff as well. So far, I couldn't have kind of scripted a better start to the season and situation. So fortunate.
Yeah, you're 13-3 heading into this week. Did you expect that kind of success at this point?
I really didn't know what to expect. We had one returning player in Lucas Turner, a couple guys who were injured last year, and the rest, didn't get a lot of playing time. So we knew the juniors are a really talented group, but, when you put them in these situations, you never know how that's going to go. But, no, we're pleasantly surprised being 13-3 at this point.
Any surprises for you individually as far as leading scorers or who's carrying the load for you?
It really depends on the game. Some games got about 4 or 5 guys in double figures. Turner is getting a lot more support. Great shooters on this roster. So, Christian Herrera, Joe Gonzalez, Lucas Turner, Nico Morales, Sam Silveranes, all those guys can hit double figures at any game.
Santa Fe's previous coach, Zach Cole, took over at Cleveland High School. You faced Cleveland twice already this year. What's it like going head-to-head with Coach Cole this year?
Oh, it's fun. You know, we enjoy it. You know, they got the better end of the stick both times. So hopefully, see them one more time. The stakes will be a little bit higher.
What sort of goals did you put out for this team this year at the start of the season?
Our goals, you know, they always remain the same ever since we've been here. We want to win a district championship. We want to host a home game in the state tournament, and then you get to the pit, anything can happen. So the first thing was win a district championship. That's our goal.
Taking over the Santa Fe Demons this year, your first year in charge of the program, was that your goal all along to, you know, take over a team, put your own kind of stamp on it?
You know, it really wasn't something that I was striving towards, actively striving towards. It's something that you always think in the back of your head. You know, I had the opportunity of coaching with one of the best coaches in the state, you know, at the Indian school in California here in Santa Fe High. So, you know, I got kind of spoiled, but it was something I always kind of wanted to do, but I didn't expect it to fall into place like this.
Next year, you'll be in a district with La Cueva, El Dorado, Sandia. What are your thoughts on the redistricting and classification?
Oh, it's fine. You know, it was a similar district to when we first got here at Santa Fe. So, you know, we're in 5A. We're not moving anytime soon. We want to play the best. So we're excited for that district.
What's your message to the team at this point in the season as you start district play and try and make a push to get to the postseason?
It's just, you know, what we've done previously is kind of erased. You know, this is the most important part of the season. You know, if we don't win district or finish towards the top of our district, that could really impact our seeding, and that could impact whether we even make the state tournament. So this is the focus on how this is just the most important part of our season, and we have to be ready for each and every game.
And lastly, how do you size up this classification as everyone starts district play?
Yeah, you know, I definitely think we have a top 5 team in the state here. You know, we've shown we can compete with anybody. And, you know, that's their mindset. You know, they understand they compete with everybody. They play really hard. They play together. So, you know, we're ready. We're ready to make a deep run.
The Demons start district play this week with games against Albuquerque High and Los Lunas. In other basketball news, a shout out to Hope Christian sharpshooter Xavier Otero. The senior set a school record with 9 3-pointers against Shiprock last week. Otero had a game-high 27 points in their opening round game at the Hope Christian Invitational.
Yeah, I was feeling it after the first couple shots. You know, the confidence was there. And I just got to thank my teammates. They were cheering me up, be able to find me the open threes, so got to thank my teammates too.
The Huskies beat St. Pius in the championship game of that tournament. Heading to break, let's check out the latest Max Preps basketball polls.
From Bloomfield High School, and we'll be back with more game time after this.
Do you love sports? Do you want a front row seat for exciting high school sports action in New Mexico?
If the answer is yes to either of those questions, then becoming an interscholastic sports official may be right for you. The New Mexico Officials Association is looking for individuals age 15 years or older to serve as officials in 10 different sports. No experience is necessary and training is provided. If you're interested, call 505-923-3110. That's 505-923-3110, or go to the website nmact.org and click on the Officials tab.
Welcome back to Game Time, presented this week by the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Fe Del Norte. The El Dorado girls dominated the Metro Swimming and Diving Championships earlier this month. Last week, the boys dove into the pool, and the El Dorado Eagles continued their dominance in the water. Here's a look at some of the races. Joe Vivian Wrestling Tournament took place last weekend. This annual event serves as a tune-up as we prepare for the state championships. Here's a look at some of last week's winners. Just a reminder, the State Wrestling Championships will take place February 23rd and 24th at the Rio Rancho Event Center. That's going to do it for another episode of Game Time, presented this week by the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Fe Del Norte. We had a lot to cover this week with basketball, wrestling, and swimming. Make sure you tune in next week because you never know where we're going to be or who we're going to talk to, but you do know the place to find the most high school highlights is right here. We'll see you next time on Game Time.